Are you looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/bluewire and use code BLUEWIRE. That's code BLUEWIRE at prizepicks.com/bluewire for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Today's episode is brought to you by Cars.com. With over 2 million vehicles and 50,000 more added every day, Cars.com will match you with the perfect car for you, your budget, your life, your style. And if you're ready to say goodbye to your current car, Cars.com will get you an instant offer to cash it in. Just start by entering your license plate and get matched with a local dealer who will write you the check. So whether you're looking to buy or sell, just go to Cars.com. It's magical.
Hello, boys and girls. Thanks for the extended break due to the NBA All-Star game and weekend and all that good stuff. Welcome back to Mavs Party. This is Kirk Henderson. I'm editor-in-chief at MavsMoneyball.com. The Dallas Mavericks finally won a game with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving playing together, beating the crap out of the Spurs, which feels good regardless of circumstance. I will never, ever, ever demean or belittle a Spurs loss to the Dallas Mavericks because they have hurt me too much during my life. Let's talk about the game a little bit. Just recorded a long show with Josh Bowe where I kind of reveled in how ridiculous it was to watch the offensive basketball. And I think I'm just compartmentalizing the fact that the Mavericks gave up 66 points in the paint to the Spurs. Very much like a Scarlett O'Hara issue. I'll deal with it tomorrow. That's kind of my feeling. Very much a fun game, a weird game. The Mavericks are just going to be really good on offense. Even if it doesn't look good, it's going to be really good. That's kind of going to be the way it's going to go. All right, so let's hang out for a little bit, and then let's go to bed because I'm tired. And I'm not ready for the last 20-something games of the season. All right, coming up first, my man Chris Haley. What's going on, dude?
Hey, Kirk, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going. What about you?
Yeah, good. I was at the game.
Oh, yeah. Wow, you drove up here for that thing?
Yeah, well, that's because the Spurs suck. I ended up getting a decent, it was $150 for section 104.
Wow.
And then I ended up scooting over to 105 because there was a few seats that nobody was sitting at for like the first quarter. I was like, screw it. Sit over there, and nobody came over there, so I had good seats.
Outstanding. Good for you.
Oh, I actually got a selfie with Josh Green as well.
Sure.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, Spurs suck, and I agree with you on that. I don't remember the last time they've even beaten us, but it's nice to always beat the Spurs. It don't matter if they're good or bad or whatever. Because I'll never forget 2003. 2003 was like, that should have been our first championship.
Should have been. You're correct.
Should have been. But I like, Justin Holiday. I like what I'm seeing here, and I'm just glad that hopefully he'll be taking Pinson's minutes or something. That's just great. Anytime, I know Pinson played tonight, but anytime we can see less of him on the court.
I mean, so the guy hit 5 threes out of 7 attempts. He hit 30 threes all season in 28 games that he played. So understanding that this is likely an outlier production, even if he's able to just hit the 1 3 a game, it helps. It really does.
And same with Hardaway. I mean, this offense is going to be cooking because you can't double team Luka no more. I mean, you could. If Kyrie and Luka are on the floor, you can. I mean, but they're one of those guys, Hardaway, Holiday, whoever, they're going to have an open three. So I know our defense is bad. And, yeah, it looks Christian Wood out there is just picking up fouls like crazy. And I love that guy. He's a professional. But, man, I just don't – there's something weird what's going on. Do you see – he's going through a funk right now, I guess, Maybe it's
Wood?
just at Kyrie. So.
Who's going through a funk? I'm sorry, I was reading a DM.
Christian Wood, maybe a little bit.
I mean, he's in that kind of stage where he knows he needs to play well, and then that makes him play weird
because he wants that contract.
Yeah.
He wants that.
Yeah, and the game just kind of needs to come to him. I think less is more with him. I think
he might be trying a little too hard. I mean, he's trying out there. He's trying a little too hard, but our team is somewhat getting a little deeper with guys coming back healthy, and then not to mention Maxi Kleber. I don't know when he's going to come back. I'm not saying he's going to be effective right off the bat, but I mean, he'll probably be taking some of Christian Wood's minutes, I assume. So,
well, it's Dwight Powell is getting murdered in the rim. Like he just gets he's there, and then players push through him. And so if you can just do that, I don't know, 5 less possessions a game, then I think everybody will feel better about where this team is going. Tonight was a fun example. Like the Mavericks their schedule, like they still play the Spurs 2 more times. And so according to, the strength of schedule thing, which is looking at your remaining opponent's win percentage, the Mavericks have the easiest schedule in the league. And that is in no small part because they play the Spurs twice, who are 14 and whatever the hell they are.
That's awesome. Because it seemed like at the beginning of the season, we would have one game every 3 days, and we were playing against bad teams with missing players.
No, we've been pretty lucky with the schedule stuff all year. And it's only going to continue. Yeah. And so the real, I said this on a podcast with Josh. I think that if they don't make a run with the team that they have assembled, then it really wasn't meant to be, and they need to go back to the drawing board. If they do make a run, I think all of us should talk ourselves into the simple fact that this team could do some things. Now, they play, what is it? They play 3 more home games after tonight, and all 3 of them are on the table as at least interesting. Lakers, Pacers, and they play they play 5 more home games. Lakers, Pacers, Sixers, Suns, Utah.
Yeah.
So if they come out of this,
so if
they come out of this home stretch winning 4 of 6, I think we should be happy, right?
Yeah, and it's a national TV game with the Lakers. I know LeBron's going to want to show out because he wants Kyrie, but it's just going to be a good game. I think it's just going to be a great game.
Oh, I think they beat the Lakers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but they just got to keep it up. I know we all know that we're a bad defensive team, but if we can just literally outscore teams to win, I mean, that's just what you got to do. Oh, lastly, is there any buyout players? I mean, is this whole Goran thing going to happen?
No. The Bulls released another guy, so Goran's with their team. I don't think the Mavericks have anybody else they could pick up. I don't know if they would want to either. It's a.
I just want to get rid of Pinson. I just like any buyout players. Cut Pinson, please.
If Pinson can go back into his role as designated podcaster, that's good for everybody.
Yeah. Anyway, well, let's keep this up, and hopefully we'll get a win on Sunday.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, Brandon, what's up tonight, man? How you doing?
Can't complain, Kurt. Cannot complain. How you doing, man?
I'm okay. Little that late start, I felt real bad because I watched the schedule like a hawk, and I had been paying attention to the fact that the Mavericks only had 1 more late game the rest of the year. And then when that game starts 20 minutes late because of water on the floor, seemed to be due to the hockey arena underneath, I was like, come on, man, it's always my fault. But then the game got started, and now we're here.
Yeah, they scored a lot. They scored a lot of points. They scored a lot of points last game too. Yeah. So, yeah. And just off the subject, you may know, was the Stars an expansion team, or did they come over from a different city? It seemed like they came from a different city.
That's a good question. I have no idea. I'm going to Google it while we're talking.
Yeah, because I was thinking they were an expansion team, but then I overheard that they had came from it could have been one of the Canadian teams in the past that came. But yeah, just kind of on the Mavs, I think that Kyrie, one thing that's going to help, he's going to do is help them in late game situations, because the Mavs, those guys can't dribble at all. They have problems, breaking the press. They have problems getting past half court, fourth quarter, and they have problems really just pushing the ball. So with him being probably the best ball handler in the league, that's going to help a lot. That's going to take a lot of that's going to give Jason Kidd a chance to run different sets late game. Him being able to actually create some type of shot or create some type of shot for somebody else. That's going to help. And I think that their roster is pretty much, I guess you could say, what it is. And to me, I feel like even if they don't go all the way, that they have a foundation with this young talent now where they can at least get some type of contribution from the bench where you don't have to put in a Theo Pinson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Try to get a Willie Cauley-Stein to come in and give you 3 minutes, or, a JaVale McGee. There's some young talent and some athleticism on the roster now. So, being optimistic, I think that, this season is somewhat of a win because we have the building blocks for, a younger team.
Well, we'll see. I mean, the younger element of it is a little bit difficult because and this has been my contention for several years, it's that they don't really think that the 11 through 15th guys on the team really matter. And we've just seen it time after time that the season is too long. You need guys to come in and soak up minutes. And, when they've had some injuries like they've had where we've seen Theo Pinson go from 12th guy to 8th guy, it's just not comfortable. And so, if the Mavericks are able to re-sign Kyrie Irving, so they have Luka and Kyrie Irving, and they're paying those two guys $1 bajillion. Hopefully they can then make sort of an appeal to, veterans who are looking to play specific roles on a team. Frankly, just to be quite honest, it's going to be catch and shoot guys. Justin Holiday, showed that today. There are guys who really can fill that role. It's the Mavericks just need to make an appeal for them. And it's to care a little bit about the back end of the bench stuff. And free agency is always much more complicated than I paint it out to be, than anybody paints it out to be, frankly. But Dallas just doesn't seem to have cared for a while now about some of these roster spots. And it's on the one hand, I'm really delighted that Justin Holiday came in and really gave them a boost in a game where they needed it. On the other hand, it's like, what, Justin Holiday was acquired through kind of a dump trade this year by the Hawks from the Kings. And it's like, what, can the Mavericks do anything like this? Can they ever try something new? The Kyrie trade is amazing, obviously, in terms of just a swing for the fences, but let's try for some of these singles and doubles. Let's go for it. That's sort of what I would hope for as they continue to build the team in the offseason.
This is advertiser content brought to you by Frito-Lay.
Hello, I'm Chip Murphy, here to get you ready for the big tournament. Tonight we'll break down who will be cutting. Cut! What are you two doing?
Sorry, Chip. Prez here got his feathers ruffled when I told him Ruffles has 0 chance of winning the title.
And I was letting Dip know that she is not taking into account Ruffles' iconic ridges.
Guys, it's March. We have to start talking about the tournament.
We are. It is the 2023 Frito-Lay Snack It.
We're talking about big-time matchups between Cheetos, Smart Food, Lay's, Sun Chips, and more.
Just head to the Frito-Lay Snack Bracket and vote for your favorite chip, pretzel, or dip for a chance to win up to $1,000 or a year's worth of snacks.
This sounds great. Keep up the good work.
Just go to fritolaysnackit.sbnation.com. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends 4/3/2023. Void where prohibited. Year's worth of snacks awarded in the form of 52 coupons, each good for 1 bag of chips. See official rules at fritolaysnackit.sbnation.com.
The Mavs, it seems like they have and it's easy to track the data. They have a record of losing either in the trades or losing at free agency. They get dump players, like you said, somebody that gets packaged in, or somewhere where they get somebody, but they give up so much to get them. Like the Porzingis trade, they give up more than what they should. So it seems like the Mavs are always on the losing end. And for them to, try to run a 6-man rotation, the Raptors, that was an outlier, something that never happened again whenever they won the championship.
Right.
With the 6 to 8 player rotation. I think they just ran like 6 players. And I think whenever Golden State had that stacked team with Baron Davis, I think they ran like a 5 or 6 man they ran like a 6 or 7 man rotation. But this is, to me, it seems like it's very rare occasions where you're going to see somebody without an 8-man rotation. But I think the best example to me of a team that went through a slow grind to try to, get to where they are the Kings. They did a lot of hit and misses, but a lot of their stuff was strategic planning. I don't think they did a lot of people went there and they made a lot of mistakes, but, through planning, I think they kind of, finally found their balance and now it's starting to pay off, as opposed to Dallas, where it's always, swinging for the fences, going for the home run and just kind of, at the end of the day, picking up the scraps because they don't really have a lot more options.
Excuse me. I'm too old for this. It's worth noting. Corey in the chat says, this is the Spurs. It's better than practice, but not by much. They've now lost 15 in a row. I think there's something to that. That said, I do think that this team can compete in any given night. So they're playing Los Angeles Sunday afternoon. Afternoon games are always weird. There's just no way around that for both teams because these guys' bodies are tuned to play at night. And this is the first of two matinee games in a row. They play this Sunday, then they play Sunday, March 5th against Phoenix. And I'm looking forward to this one because I think if these Mavericks are capable of going on a run, it will be by putting away a team like the Lakers, which really, the Lakers are fighting for their lives. They're going to beat the Warriors tonight pretty good because the Warriors are a mess in their own right. But, the Lakers basically, somebody said to me, doesn't matter who, but he knows who he is when he hears this podcast, says that I never really believed in collusion until I saw that the Lakers got 3 functional players for Russell Westbrook and a first round pick. And it made me laugh my ass off. So beating the Lakers on Sunday would be a big step in the right direction. I think we'd all feel a lot better. What do you think?
I think it would. I think that every win from, 3 down is going to be important to Dallas. And I brought it up before that it's those significant wins where they're kind of I guess you could say staple wins.
Yeah.
Dallas, they pull out a lot of games, but they pull out a lot of games because they grind it out. They need consistent wins against these teams so they can kind of build up some type of confidence within. And plus,
they need to hold somebody out of the paint. They need to hold under 60 points in the paint would be nice. Can we do that once?
and I mean, Pal, it's man, that dude, he gets no help. And I don't think Maxi Kleber, is going to be the person that's going to come and stop what's going on in the paint. But to me, it's always just the offensive rebounds that other teams get, just kind of that drives me wild because I think in the last part, in one of your last shows, you are talking about how Dallas gets back. It could have been another show, but how Dallas gets back after a miss. And you may see Luka, but everybody else is kind of sprinting down court. But the thing is, it seems like even whenever there is opportunity for offensive rebound, Dallas isn't. They don't put. It's not a lot of initiative. It's not a lot of hustle. They hustle. Powell hustles on defense, but he doesn't give the same energy when it comes to rebounding.
He's one of the worst rebounders in the league. It's not his fault. It's just not his skills. And so it's that's where areas where the Mavericks are going to get. They need to figure out ways to do things a little bit better team wise. Luka grabs a lot of boards. Kyrie's a pretty good rebounder for his size. I'm hopeful they figure it out. This was. Somebody just said this because there's some Josh Green talk in the chat where it's he had kind of a rough game. He had 2 turnovers, 11 points. He had 1 rebound, 2 assists, a lot of running around. I'm bullish that we'll get another couple of good Josh Green games the rest of the way.
They need the Josh Green type energy, you know what I'm saying? Because Josh is going to, if he has opportunity to get a rebound, and it may sound very petty, but 1 rebound is more than what, because some games they just got maybe 4 or 5 offensive rebounds, but they need the energy around it. And it's sad because you can look at the other teams, they got rebounds, maybe 14 or 15 offensive rebounds. The Mavs are barely getting 4 or 5, but with that type of energy around the rim, that's better than nothing.
Yes.
And I think a lot of that kind of goes back to the way Rick developed Powell and the way he developed his players. He developed them to be specialists, not really, well-rounded. So that's why you got like a Wesley Matthews is like a good that's shooting high values, but that's all he could do. And then you got Powell that can move his feet around the free throw line and picks and stuff like that. And Brandon Wright was the quote unquote rim rocker, but they were good at one thing, but they weren't good at multiple things, and that's kind of coming back to bite Powell and some of the other guys.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad they got the win. I'm glad they got the kind of Luka Kyrie monkey off their back, and now they can go play some basketball, and it's a nice schedule the rest of the way. Got a number of afternoon and early evening games. I'm and for me, as selfish as that is, it means early evening games with us here and not 11:30 at night like it is right now. Sure.
And just one more thing, I think that somebody had brought up a point about Kyrie not getting drugged like he did in by the New York media, and I think that's true. Him being here, it's going to be a lot less focus on his off the court stuff. And you brought up the point that the most relentless media group in Dallas area is the Cowboys media group, and we all know who that is. I mean, they're just like, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about those dudes, but I mean, besides that, you're not going to get a lot of constant. The questions that he got in New York after games that had nothing to do with basketball, it's not going to be a lot of that. So hopefully, that will make him, if he does decide to stay, make him more comfortable.
Sure. It's not like going to Los Angeles is going to make him any happier, because he's going to get the same sort of nonsense out there. It's a volume problem. It's not a kind of questions. It's like the sheer number of people asking questions.
And just constantly just being it. God, can you imagine those Laker fans, those finicky Laker fans? And I mean, I don't know. I think him being, because Dallas is not a small market, but it has a small market type media base where it's not people just constantly throwing a microphone in his face, asking volumes of questions like that. But I don't know. I think it's a good fit for him, because it's big enough to be a major market, but it's not that major market type environment. So, he doesn't have to worry about people just throwing this fastball out of nowhere,
Sure.
about what he said on Twitter and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Well, I'm at least I'm at least hopeful that we don't have any other weird stuff happen through the rest of February, March, and April, and then hopefully into May, as the Mavericks will hopefully play some basketball into May.
Yeah, that's the goal, man. And just keep winning. But yeah, thanks, Kirkman. I appreciate
Good
it.
thing, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, doesn't look like we got anybody else in the speaker request thing, which is okay, because I mean, how much do you really want to talk about a Spurs win or loss? I'm really glad they won, because I'm glad they won convincingly, because I would have not liked to have a discussion about what it meant if the Mavericks didn't beat the pants off the Spurs after multiple days rest. Now, because they play them twice more, I think there will be probably clearer, closer games. Like Sohan didn't play tonight, and that dude's really good. But the Mavericks or the Spurs hit a lot of threes. This was a weird, wonky game. It was a fun game. Kind of an upsetting game at points. There was somebody in the chat noting that Josh Green dropped the most easy Luka pass, but he also had probably one of the top 5 coolest Mavericks dunks of the year. The LeBron James, cockback, just rim rocking destructor. Yeah, no Devin Vassell. Thank you for that, Harris. That's a good point too. So, the Spurs are in tankathon mode. We'll see where we go from here. Check out Mavs Moneyball. We got some stuff going, not too much, because we took time off. I was following all of All-Star break, and Kyrie had the largest media scrum, and Josh Bowe and I talked about it a little bit. And I'm as a hobbyist, I don't really want to get into the extra Kyrie stuff at this point. I just don't have the brain power for it. I really like watching him play basketball, and I think that's going to be enough for me. You guys be good, and we will talk on Sunday. Look for a show from me and hopefully my friend Anthony Irwin talking Mavs Lakers. It'll come out on Saturday. This show will get posted tomorrow night. If you are listening to this and you haven't checked out the recap, Josh Bowe and I had a great time talking about this game. So everybody be good. Go Mavs, and we will talk soon.